Hello and welcome to the Weekly Review, a program of Sawasawa Network. My name is Alfred Yoron. I'm the producer and the host. Today we shall be looking into the space for innovation and entrepreneurship in South Sudan, especially among young people. How is it going on the ground? And we are joined by two young South Sudanese, Matai, Manuoi, Muon, co-founder and CEO of Tedi. He is also a social entrepreneur. And also we have Atem Peter. He is the team leader of Messenger Bicycles Initiative, which is doing also a lot of work right now on the ground in Juba. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Alfred. Thank you so much.
Let's start with Atem, the innovator of this project, the bicycles, the Blue Bicycles Initiative, BMB. It has been making headlines in the news recently, and our audience would like to know more deeply from you. What is it in a more detailed manner?
Alfred, Yoron Modi, and my colleague Matai Manuoi, nice meeting you. My name is Atem Peter. I'm the team leader for Blue Messenger Bicycle Initiative. And it started in 2018. And, I'm a communication specialist who was working with UN as a consultant. And I realized that communication is aid. And, as much as we need food, shelter, medicine, we need to be informed. So, and in my field, we say that communication is aid. And it's a human right for someone to be informed, whether before crisis, during crisis, and after crisis. For that matter, I realized that if you move outside, because I travel to the countryside a lot, I've been to the grassroots, I've traveled almost the whole of South Sudan. And I realized that when you move outside Juba, the more you move outside to the grassroots, the less you become informed, because the channels of information, mostly the radio, is not applicable in every situation, because not everyone can afford to buy a radio or, to afford the dry sales. So when you go to the villages across South Sudan, people are really cut off from information. And we thought of having a tool that can easily post information at people's doors. Someone doesn't need to struggle to be informed. And you don't need to tune into the radio to be informed. So we need to simplify the fact that someone have the right to get information, even at his or her own house. So this tool is a blue bicycle that is mounted with a megaphone. It has an amplifier and a battery. So what we do, that amplifier is powered by a battery, and that battery, is a car battery. So, and it uses it transfers the power to the amplifier that powers the megaphone, and it is too loud. One megaphone can cover an area of 500 meters ahead of you and 300 meters behind you. So this is a full set of a Blue Messenger bicycle. And what we do, we post information at people's doors. We move from household to household. And also we translate messages to local languages, because we know the level of illiteracy in South Sudan is very high. So we make sure at least we have a mapping of Juba. Like, for example, if you go to Mangaten, 90% of population in Mangaten, they are Nuer. So that means you'll pass a message in Arabic and also in Nuer language. So we're able to map out the demography of Juba based on our ethnic languages. And this has really improved the essence of being informed and digesting the information. Not only that, we also make sure we collect feedback from the community, because giving out information is one way communication, but also getting a response from the community is important. So far we have been doing this for COVID-19, and the impact is very great. Communities are able to stop us and ask questions. We're able to respond to them, and we have trained our mobilizers on how they can interact with the community and document their feedback, then respond to them again. So basically, and we have trained our mobilizers on how they can interact with the community and document their feedback, then respond to them again.
What was the size? What's the size now of the initiative? The size of the initiative at the moment. How many bicycles and?
Yeah, currently we have 50 a day. That is an equivalent of 1,440 people informed. So 50 bicycles covers 12,000 households a day. That is equivalent of 72,000 people. In a month, we are covering 300,000 households. That is 1.8 people informed each and every month. So, and the impact is quite great, and people are getting informed. And sometimes when we play music in local language and, to attract the attention of the community, it is quite innovative, and it is quite welcomed by the communities. In fact, that, they translate it to their own. They own it, because if someone passes by playing your local music, you get attention and you feel like, okay, he's talking to me. So that's how we've been doing it for the last few months. We've been operating in Juba on COVID-19.
Matai, as we intend to go deeply into the topic, briefly, tell us about Tedi. Your website says that it is a social enterprise which intervenes in South Sudan's women and youth entrepreneurial space, and that basically you are an entrepreneur support organization. Tell us more about your organization, Tedi.
Thank you, Alfred, once again for having me and for giving us the space, to talk about this initiative. It's very important. So, Teddy, as you have said, is basically an entrepreneur support organization. It was founded in June this year, out of crisis. So we said, instead of just sitting around, it was important that we come up with innovative program that could at least prepare South Sudan for the next COVID or whatever that will be. So we go beyond that. We also, engage in coming up with innovative programs and creative solutions to social issues. So we are social enterprise, which means, we use commercial strategies to solve social problems, like what my friend Peter Atem is doing. So we have been in the market for a very short time, but so far the progress has been great, I would say. Our intention is to create a just, prosperous, and sustainable ecosystem dealing with youth and women, led businesses and enterprise in South Sudan. That's the problem that we want to solve. So, in short, we are there, to support organizations and individual-led program that has a social cause, and also we are involved in coming up with innovative programs toward a problem affecting South Sudan in general. So basically, that's what we do.
What's your view on the factors affecting young people and women who also are part of your target in being innovative, in the country? We know there are crises in the country. There is war in some parts of the country, and peace process is going on. But your views about innovation, like what's the state of innovation right now in the country?
Yeah, that's really a good question. The reason why we chose youth and women as our target group is because this category suffers a lot in South Sudan. So when you look at young people like Atem here, they are trying to make a difference in South Sudan, but their space is so squeezed. They do not have the right space to come around and try to make a difference in the society. Of course, South Sudan's war economy has a lot of disadvantages. It does not give us the space that we need as young people, as much as we want to make changes. But there's a hope. Atem here, you yourself and myself, if we can work together, we can make a difference in South Sudan. In every war-torn economy like South Sudan, the space is not that enough, or I would say it's not very supportive. When you look at the women enterprise, for example, they have a lot of problems. We conducted a research sometime in August, and we found that one of the biggest problems is, access to skill. And which is why we found that we actually, very important in this space. They do not have a skill, even a skill to get funding. Someone will tell you that I do not have money. That's my problem. But the problem is that they do not have the skill, to skills such as proposal development and other stuff that can get them capital for their businesses. So yeah, we have a lot of problems, but I feel like, every problem should be made into a solution. And that's why we exist in this space.
Well, Atem, what are your observations as somebody who is also on the ground, with your initiative, which is very innovative, and you also interacted with others. What do you say about the space and how the youth could be helped?
Thank you so much, Roger. Again, I think, as mentioned by Matai, we are facing challenges as South Sudanese youth. And, in our war-torn situation, it's not easy to come up with, concrete solutions to our problem. It's going to be a process. But I will talk briefly about the challenges that the youth are facing in this country. And I will not want to echo what Matai mentioned, but just to add on it. Our youth are engaged on negative things simply because they are, they're redundant. They're doing nothing. I can tell you, when I mobilized 50 volunteers for Blue Messenger Bicycle Initiative, most of them currently are very developmental. They are being given skills. We had training with Mgrush, which I initiated, because we don't want just to use them to ride the bicycles, but to give them some skills so that tomorrow, if they leave Blue Messenger Bicycle, they're able to do some things by themselves. We have 5 female volunteers that are riding bicycles with us, and currently they're being trained as technicians who can repair the amplifiers. 2 of them are doing very good in the training. They can dismantle the amplifier, they can fix it, they can know what is wrong with the amplifier, whether it is short circuit or whatever it is. These are skills we're trying to, because youth empowerment will solve most of our problems. Most of our problems are because of our vulnerability. Now youth are the ones that are being used as tools. If 2 politicians have issues among themselves, they will use our youth to fight themselves. And we have seen the group that has really suffered during this crisis are the youth. We're the ones dying in the front line, we're the ones suffering within, and there are a lot of challenges. This is simply because the level of illiteracy is very high, and most of our youth have no skills. Trust me, if I have the skills to do something for myself, I wouldn't think of following a politician to go and die for him or her. So we need to make sure at least we prioritize youth empowerment. It's very important. Where I am today, I've gone through some stages of my life, and I'm privileged, but I feel I can also empower another youth to be like me. And if we have so many youth like Matai, myself, and you, then who will be fighting for those nonsensical fights because simply you disagree on some certain issues and it becomes tribal? We don't have tribes in South Sudan. We are a very diverse community, and we're proud of ourselves. Trust me, when I was in the refugee camp, I didn't know that Nuer and Dinka are issues. I didn't know that. And because of our vulnerability, we are being used on that line, which is not right thing. So I can guarantee you, if we empower the youth, it will solve half of the problems for this country. And that's where we are right now as BMB. We are looking at how youth can be empowered and given skills to take care of their lives and take charge in their own lives, than depending on politicians who can use them for their own benefits.
I'm sorry to tell you that our show will run shorter than we programmed earlier because of some technical problems. So I would urge you to conclude by each one of you giving us what you think could be the way forward in terms of helping the youth in this effort to be innovative and also in entrepreneurship, and also whatever relevant that I might have left out. Quickly, maybe in about 2 minutes each. Matai?
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I would really wish we continue the program, but as I told you, I have another meeting coming up. Very unfortunate, but this is very interesting conversation, Alfred. I would say we might, at least organize another one if the time will allow. Yeah. So let me talk briefly about what needs to happen in the youth space, and for my case, also in the women space. My colleague Atem has mentioned one important point, that where we need to begin is empowering this group. Empowerment in the context of Tedi would talk about entrepreneurial empowerment. How do we ensure that the youth we are trying to empower are skilled in business and enterprise development, and also in leadership, to say the least. So that's one thing that I want to emphasize here, because part of the problem in South Sudan is that we have young people who do not actually know who they are. So they have not identified, themselves. They have not defined what it means to be a youth in a country like South Sudan today. So that's where we need to begin. It's a very critical approach. So we need to enable youth identifying themselves. I think that's one thing. The other part is that is part of the education that we are also trying to develop at Tedi. Education that has to be very creative. If you have a graduate, at the University of Juba, and they cannot present themselves professionally, how do we ensure that you align these guys with the 21st century skill? So education has to be very, innovative in nature. Education that is not only about, going to the university and get the degree, but that you can use to solve social problems. So I think that's also a second part, to try to get these guys out of where they are right now. And then in the context of women, South Sudan economy is war-torn economy. We all know this, and it comes with a lot of problems. So, and the biggest people who paid for these kind of challenges are the women. How do we create a space for a South Sudanese woman so that they can thrive wherever they are? Even now in the COVID era, we have a lot of women who are trying to make a difference, but they do not have that space. So we really need to have a conversation, around this area of coming up with program that can sustain our women, because without doing so, I don't think we will be moving, the way we would like to go. So I think with that, those could be my ideas around what we need to do as a country.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You can go on, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Matai. I think I will just be briefed, and I always say this in most of the forums I attend or engage with. The most important thing for South Sudan now is to have national solutions to our national problems. We have this tendency that everything will be done for us. Like if you look at the UN system in South Sudan, we believe so much in UN. Even something that we can do by ourselves, we need UN to intervene. So, and I want us to encourage local solutions for our local problems. For example, if you look at BMB, this is a very national intervention that we started as youth of South Sudan, and we can get support. Even if there's no funding, we're able to get support from our local or our national companies. Like M Group is our partner right now, and they're willing, because we don't want to ask money for free. We do advert for the companies at a lower price because we're not a profit-making organization. The money they pay us for doing service to them, we use it to run the charity and expand our program. So what we are doing is to encourage national solutions to our national problems. By engaging, we have money in South Sudan. It's not like South Sudanese are very poor, but we tend to ignore what we have and focus much on what we don't have. So can you tell me that tomorrow, if there's no UN or there's no funding, we will stop working for this nation? That is not true. So let's try to let's identify how we can join hands. You look at Matai is doing great. Atem BMB is doing great. You are doing a great job yourself, Roger Alfred. So do we need funding to do this? It's not everything we need that we have to look for someone to do it for us. We need to encourage a spirit of nationalism, a spirit of looking for local solutions within ourselves to solve our problems. I'm not saying that UN is bad. UN can come in and support us, but before UN comes in, we should be able to identify our problems and our solutions. Thank you so much.
With that, dear viewer, we've come to the end of the program. See you next time.